Welcome to the Meet the Leader podcast with your hosts, Sam and Colin. This is the TNLC podcast that wobbles but does not fall down.
Exactly. So why don't you take a break from that 34th quarantine project that you're on, sit down and open a nice can of what day is it again? I think we're all asking that because you're about to get to know TNLC leaders like never before. What's going on, TNLC fam? We're so glad that you're tuning in to this segment of Meet the Leader, where we interview some of your favorite TNLC leaders. Remember, no notes, just fun today.
That's right. We will do all the hard work for you. You just need to stay awake and enjoy.
So without further ado, let's introduce our leader for today. What is going on, Jeffrey?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Who are you?
I am Jeff.
What do you do?
So what I do around here is I help out with New Life students' music and production, and kind of work with you a whole lot. That's a lot of fun. Serve on Sundays with the music team, help out there. I help with our devos here. I do a little bit of social media copy for us.
Are you still leading a group? You have led a discipleship group before.
Yeah,
Are you still
lead my group. It looks a little bit different with all the quarantine stuff.
Yep.
I've actually been, instead of doing, it's really hard to get all my guys together, so I've just been calling them individually and encouraging them to connect that way, and it's been pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit more. Tell us about kind of like early life for Jeff, like where you're from, where you grew up.
Take us back
family
to
life
little Jeff.
Yeah,
little Jeff.
Jeffy. I have a feeling your nickname was Jeffy.
It wasn't.
Okay.
It should be. It's Jeffo. That much makes sense. It's just
Jeff
Oehler, but you're just leaving the Ler out.
It's a good distinction because we have Jeff Kerr as well, and
Right.
that's a toughie.
Jeffo.
But little Jeff, born in New York, way back in.
I did not know that.
I also
Really?
did not know that.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
don't think I
feel
knew
as
that.
bad knowing that because
You don't? No, actually, I did know that because I found it out on our NLS
on our
Live.
AMA. If you're not watching
Yeah.
NLS Live, watch it. We have a lot of fun
Even
there.
if you're not a student, you can still join in for live.
I hear we have a news segment.
A news segment. Yes, a segment for some good news. Little good news.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's okay.
just a little good
shameless plug. Shameless plug. Yes. So New York.
Yeah, so I grew up in New York, Long Island, or Long Island,
Yeah.
as the natives say, on Nassau County. So that's going to be the left half of the island. So yeah, I grew up there.
Really?
And then in middle school, moved to Florida. So the worst possible time ever to
Oh, for
move.
sure.
Like, because you finally feel like you have like a place in the world, and then it's like, nope, not anymore. Let's pluck you out and let's move you somewhere else. So I grew up, I was really into sports. That was kind of my deal. Played a whole bunch of baseball, played hockey, played soccer, a little bit of lacrosse, but my parents would not let me play football. So ice hockey.
Hockey
Right,
and
yes.
lacrosse, but
Football.
No,
It's way too dangerous.
Yeah,
Correct.
totally.
Yeah.
I
Interesting.
feel like lacrosse is more dangerous just because the bottom half is not padded whatsoever.
No, I mean I think there was a case back in New York when I was playing where we had a kid like die. Like it's like, lacrosse balls are like a 1 pound
Yes.
ball of rubber. Kid got
Right.
hit in the chest with no pads on, and that was it.
Wow.
It was
That'll do it to
crazy.
you.
So
So did you continue all of those sports when you moved down here,
I
or that's what
didn't.
you did in New York, and then you came down here and you were like,
yeah.
no sports.
Just
It's
all
too
athletic
hot.
ability just down the
gone,
drain.
just
Or
gone.
that.
You know what? Let's just stick with music. I'll probably cut out for that. No, but so I grew up playing sports, and then when we moved here in middle school, I really didn't want to move here. Fought my parents tooth and nail. Just was not a fan of it. Hated it. But they bribed me with a puppy and a drum set. So I got my
Great.
pup and my drum set. His name was Max, a little beagle.
Those are very loud bribes,
Oh yeah, beagles.
Yeah.
Beagles
Yeah.
are not quiet. Like
nor are drums.
no,
Right.
no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you imitate a beagle? You do that? Okay. Anyway,
That's a whining beagle. That's when they gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And they gotta go outside. That's what they sound like.
nice. But so
They also say woof. So
but yeah, so started to get involved in middle school and just really couldn't find my place. Had a hard time making friends and doing all that stuff. So I had a severe emo phase. We're talking like scene kid level, like swoopy.
Long hair.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like
Okay.
it's not much different. The swoop is just lifted a little.
Yeah,
It's
we
you
just
took the swoop
readjusted.
And
I would like to make a request that at this point in the podcast we edit in a picture of
Nope.
Jeff's
Nope.
Come on,
emo
buddy.
phase.
Mm.
Come on, buddy.
No,
Well, don't worry.
I don't think I have any of those photos.
We'll work.
Oh,
We'll work on that.
okay.
We'll work on
Okay.
that post process.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
but had a severe emo phase, and then in high school got involved in music. Started in Tarpon Springs High School's marching band. Had a lot of fun with that. If you know anything,
Doing drums?
yeah. So I started with
They
drums.
call it percussion.
the perk,
So-
the pit,
Like
if
the
you
drum
will.
line? Like that kind of thing?
So Tarpon didn't have a drum line. That was pretty unique about them.
You did cymbals.
I did not. I actually played an electronic drum set in the back of the field. It was really cool.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, we were kind of the first people to do that, and we actually ran a click track with there in the back. So typically with marching band stuff, like the conductor up at front
Right.
has got everything, but we actually controlled it from the back, like me and the back field. I just had a click in my
you were
ear.
The conductor.
I was the secret drum major, but
Did they
well,
did they have a conductor up front
Yeah.
just faking it?
you have to because I think it's like 50 yards apart, like front to back. So there's a noticeable like auditory processing difference. So like there's a lag. So we would have to have someone physically in the back giving them time because they would hear it.
So
a whole
he's
beat late.
just your puppet.
Wow.
You're just puppeteering him up there at the front, and you're in
puppet.
the back, just kind
puppet.
of behind the scenes,
Huh.
got all the power.
It was a
How
lot of fun.
interesting.
I loved marching band. Had a ton of fun with it. You got to travel and make a whole bunch of friends, and that's where I really began to. That was hard to say. Really began to find my stride with stuff like that, and really got into music, and that kind of leads into my story of meeting Jesus too, which is neat. I don't know if we're doing that next. You guys
Have at it.
corral
Go
me.
for it, my guy.
But
Have at it.
yeah, so I in marching band really looked up to this guy named Justin. His name's Justin Ebach, awesome dude. And for whatever reason, like I knew that Ebach had something that I didn't have, and I just always wonder like, what is that thing? Like what like. What is setting this dude apart from me? And I knew Ebach went to church, and I grew up Catholic, and then like at age 12 was like, I think this is the worst thing ever. I hate this. I don't want to do this anymore. And I told my mom I wasn't going anymore and just like stopped. And then so all throughout high school kind of floundered, like didn't really have any sort of meaningful faith. All Jesus really was to me was like if I wanted something in a video game, I was like, Jesus, if you could like hook it up and like give me this item.
Oh, for sure.
That would be so
For
cool.
sure.
That's a real thing.
Rarely
Like a
worked.
genie.
It's a real thing.
Rarely worked, but when it did,
Woo,
ooh,
it did.
ooh.
I stopped cursing for a whole week. Like it was insane.
I got the Charizard. That's just.
It was World of Warcraft.
Okay,
but,
fair enough.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about at all.
all great
But
things.
it's
Yeah.
fine. Jesus.
Pokemon mainly. Asking Jesus for Pokemon is
Okay.
what I was talking about.
Okay.
I
You
would
that
never.
was-
Anyway, so Jeff was in high
But
school. and he had a
really
buddy.
looked up to this guy Justin and knew he had something different that I didn't really have, and just started asking questions. And he invited me to play drums at his youth group, and I told him no. I was like, "No, that sounds really lame. I don't want to do
You had
that."
some history though. There's probably a reason. You probably was it like a.
I just thought it
Just
was
sounds
lame.
boring, sounds- yeah.
like because when you grow up Catholic, what you know of youth group is like
Right.
you don't
Yeah.
really know anything like that.
Right.
At least where I came from, and so it was weird.
Yeah.
And he for whatever reason just didn't give up on me and like just kept inviting me. And like Justin was really smart. He appealed to my ego on it. And like he was like our drummer's not very good. Like you want to come
We
play? And I was like,
need
I'll come play. Like, and so that's how he got me. Like, and
Wow.
I showed up and played drums and sat down in front of a youth group of like 30
Did they
kids.
actually have a drummer?
They did. Yeah.
So was that like a truthful statement?
Oh, 100%. Like they
like,
sat this
Oh.
kid,
Ouch.
and it was
Hey man. that's
Sorry,
a
Peter.
Dog eat dog.
Oh,
Was that a real name?
Yeah.
Yikes! I feel like
insert a picture
Should
of
we
Peter
edit that out?
here.
Do we edit that out?
Peter and
Do we
then just a red
we
circle with,
edit
a
that
dash,
out?
with a slash. There will be no editing of this. You know
It's
what?
fine.
It's very likely that Peter is not one of our.
Right. 7
anyway.
listeners. We have about 7 listeners.
Yeah, give
Yeah.
or take.
Peter's probably.
He's probably
One.
one. He's probably one. But yeah, so I sat down and played in front of a youth group of like 30 kids and felt something that I'd never experienced before. And I was like, what is this? Like, and so, I mean, traveling around with Tarpon, I got to play in front of crowds of thousands, right?
Right.
You play in stadiums and that's just something you do. And never felt anything like that. And when I sat down in front of a student ministry of 30 kids, I was like, whoa.
So it was not the fact of having an audience because you were clearly used to having an audience.
Yeah, like that was
Right.
normal for me. That was something that didn't even affect me, where I was just like, this is just a thing
Right.
that I do. And having a group of 30 kids who I didn't know, I just felt something different in that room. And as we all know, it's the Holy Spirit showing up and making his presence known in a room. And after that, I was like, I got to figure this out. So I took like a whole year and just kind of dug around in it and just started asking questions. And because the way I like my brain works is like if I'm gonna do something, it's all in. Like there's no really halfway for me. So for me, I'm like, if Jesus is who he says he is, and this changes everything for me. Like, it's not just like I can compartmentalize and do Jesus things sometimes. Like, it's like, this is all or nothing. And so I really took a year to kind of.
And that was in high school.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Well, it would have been, I always get this timeline mixed up. I think it would have been my senior year of high school and then into my freshman year of college.
Gotcha.
Because I gave my life to Jesus at a student retreat that summer. So that's when that change actually happened.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and it was really neat. It was at a retreat in Cocoa Beach. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, like just correction.
Yeah,
Course correction. That's the right way that is said.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your family, maybe any relationships you have. Anything along those lines. Just stuff like whatever.
Your family.
Thanks, man.
Your
Thanks.
family.
Yeah. So my family, I've got a mom and a dad.
Cool.
My mom's name is Claire, and she goes by Chicky.
I found that out yesterday
Wow.
too.
She goes by Chicky. Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah. Her dad gave it to her when she was like a little kid. She was a little Chicky.
Wow.
A little Chicky.
That's really cute.
Interesting.
Yeah, my mom's awesome, and we've got my dad as well. He's pretty great too.
What's his
and
nickname?
his name is Jeff.
Okay,
They got real creative with mine.
Does he have a nickname?
Nope. He loves
Jaybird?
He loves
call him
like
J-
old
come on.
spaghetti westerns. Like I don't know what spaghetti westerns. Like what is that? What
Is that a term?
I
Did
know.
you
make that up just now?
spaghetti
I've heard it
straps.
before. That's why I said it.
Wow, I have never heard of that.
I know spaghetti,
The meal,
the Italian
Correct.
pasta food.
the
Interesting.
delicacy.
We'll Google that.
Yeah,
So Chicky and Jaybird.
Chicken.
Yeah. Spaghetti western.
Yeah, he loves westerns and
So does my dad.
hanging out in the chair. That's what he does.
Oh man,
Real
my
good
dad
life.
loves the chair.
Cool.
They're both retired though, so my parents are much older than someone my age would have parents of that age. So my dad, yeah, I think he's close to 80 now.
Wowzers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I've got a much older half sister.
Okay.
She's awesome. She lives close to my parents, and yeah.
Any other relationships you want to tell us about, or or is that pretty much it?
Yeah, Colin, I will. Right now, yeah, I'm seeing a girl named Rebecca. She's incredible.
What?
Breaking news. Yeah.
This just in?
Guys, I feel like you guys talked about this ahead of time, and I was not made aware of this.
I may or may not have asked, hey, would this be kosher to mention on the podcast?
We got
And
clearance, and we're
we got the
good,
clearance. So this is
And you didn't find it at all important to tell your co-host, this is where I'm going, and it's okay.
I wanted the live reaction.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
wanted to see the fear.
I
in
just, I'm nervous about telling Kai. Like,
I would be nervous as well.
like,
Kylie already has a bone to pick with you. Should we go there now?
Let's do
or?
that. I would love to know.
Okay.
what is this?
So my 3-year-old is in love with Jeff and has been for quite some time. And
It's that
this
hair.
last Sunday, when we were watching church, she saw you, on stage. And I said, "Do you see Mr. Jeff?" And she said, "Yes." "Why does he look so weird?" And I said, "Kylie, it's the mustache."
Yeah, it's that thing. It's that
Yes.
thing.
And then she said, "Mama, I must ask you a question."
Wait. She said that?
Yeah, she understands that joke. We taught her that joke a long time ago.
okay.
So then she just
I thought she just thought of that.
I must
Like,
No,
ask you a
no.
question. Why?
I must
Why is
ask
he doing
you a
this?
question. Yes. So
Oh,
Has anyone told him about
Right.
it? Has anyone talked with him?
People did. Thank you very much, Nick Motard and friends. Thank you specifically for telling me
Listen,
in
Okay.
we
meme
believe
format
in
with Tom
accountability.
Selleck.
wow.
We believe in accountability for sure.
So that was Kylie's reaction.
Oh,
I will be
that's
sure to film her
incredible.
reaction of this new news that we have now.
Breaking
Please
news.
Yes.
do.
Breaking news.
Please do. That would be wonderful.
She'll be heartbroken.
So I've got a few questions for you just to maybe get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah.
What are some things that you do outside of your role? I mean, you're not on staff here at TNLC, but more like things for fun, things to rest and relax. What do
Yeah.
you like to do that?
Man, I think the first thing that comes to mind is I love working out. I just like getting in the gym, and that's kind of my place to just shut everything out. Like I love turning my phone off and just being able to have an hour and a half to just do that. So with quarantine, it's not that fun because I'm still at home, like in my office where I work.
Do you have like 5-gallon buckets of water next to your bed? That you
No,
just,
but I filled a backpack with my old textbooks. Pro tip, if you're trying to work out at home, fill your backpack.
That's a great
So
idea.
don't get rid of those textbooks because
Also-
there might be a quarantine.
Because I didn't have a pull-up bar, and you can't get a pull-up bar right now during quarantine. What I
Okay.
did, and this is stolen from Jeff Cavalier, athlenex.com. Check it out. He's the best. What he did is he took like a phone book and stuck it under his door, and you can do pull-ups from the door, and it won't break the hinge.
'Cause
So
the book's on.
yeah, because that's
Totally.
the issue. If you hang on a door like on the hinge, you'll just boop. So
Wow.
yeah,
So there's that.
If I could do a
But-
pull-up, I would go home and try that right away.
cannot
Now you
kip
told me recently,
those.
and the image I had though is literally just someone's like faces directly against the door.
Yeah,
Is that
that's
how
what
it
I'm
works?
picturing.
well, I mean, if you do a pull-up properly, you're not like this. Like who doesn't pull up like
True. I mean,
that? Yeah. All right. Cool. It's supposed to work.
I
here.
mean, like, if we're really being honest, I don't do pull-ups, so
Yeah.
you know, I
You
just
just get
avoid
them in
it
front of you.
entirely.
You're
so
able to
my next question
squeeze,
though is,
but-
where would one even get a phone book these days? Because I feel like a phone book
How
might
do
be
you fit a
harder
phone
The
to.
book
perks.
beneath your door.
Also that.
It's a thin one. It's the perks of having like 80-year-old parents. They still like they don't
Oh,
even have cell
yeah.
phones. Like it's yeah.
Like at all?
I mean, they have a cell phone that
Is it a flip phone?
that they
No.
share.
they haven't charged it in the last year. Like I went over and
You
I was
have a
like-
landline?
How do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
and they
okay.
get
Oh,
and they
wow.
get
So
calls
you still
all day.
have a means of like getting in touch with them.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not just
they
like,
get the best thing is they get calls all day, and they figured out like caller ID. So they'll
Right.
walk up, they'll listen for it, and if they know the person, they'll walk over to the phone and like watch it go to voicemail. And it's like the funniest thing on the planet. Like, just
Just
pick
like-
up the phone.
Because you
pick
know
up the
Jay
phone.
Bird is not getting out of his chair to answer the phone.
Unless
No,
it's
no,
important. So when it
no.
says potential spam and they don't know what spam means, they're like, oh, I gotta check it.
Okay, so I'm gonna take a guess. This is what happens if you call and you need to pick up, right? It goes to voicemail, and then it's, hey guys, it's Jeff. Pick up the phone.
Yep.
Pick up the
I
phone.
know you're watching, Mom.
This is
I
this
know
is
you're
what I
Chicky.
do. That's what I do for my
I
grandma.
know you're at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, hey grandma, it's
So-
Colin. You just give
No,
me a second
the
to
caller
get over.
ID will read the name. It'll read the name, so it'll be like Jeff Oehler. Like,
Wow.
And then they let it go. They go to voicemail.
Yeah.
probably,
Mhm.
probably. Let's
Dad's
be
like
honest
not
here.
getting up for that.
Yeah,
Okay.
this guy again.
So
Oh,
phone
my
book,
goodness.
pull-ups, good. You're
Yeah.
working out at home.
So I love working out at
Textbooks,
home.
great.
Another one, I think most people know this, is I'm a big peruser and collector of Lego, the building blocks.
Yes,
Yeah, I love.
I did
love me
not
some
know
Lego.
that as well.
Yeah. For me, it's
I did not either.
Yeah, you did not.
No,
Wow.
I know you're just generally a huge nerd.
Huge nerd. Yeah,
But I didn't know that's a loving because I'm
No,
also
for real,
I'm
yeah,
also
it's
one
a-
of those.
it's a proud
A term of
yeah.
endearment.
Yes,
In
no, it really
categories,
is.
you could use
yeah,
that.
yeah. In
Okay.
some of the circles we roll in, like that is definitely a badge.
What's
of,
up,
of honor.
nerds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Okay.
up, nerds?
But yeah, I love collecting Lego, specifically the architecture sets. I think those are the coolest. They're a little bit more difficult. They're like smaller pieces.
do
And
you have Hogwarts?
I do not. It's an enormous set. I don't have space for that.
So you build the Legos and then do you like put them up, or
Yeah,
you like build them and then
yeah.
just take them down and put them
Do
back
you
in the
gloss
box?
them
No.
together so they're
I
all
do
nice
not.
and shiny?
I do not. They're already glossy. You should know that.
But they stay together. It's
Yeah.
like, but you know,
Nah.
okay.
Yeah, my favorite one is the Louvre. I have the Louvre, which is a really cool
Ooh.
architecture set. Yeah, it's really neat. It used to be in my office, right in the.
I have
little-
been there.
That's an
Just
art
not gonna-
museum,
Mhm.
I
don't wanna,
believe.
you know,
correct?
just saying.
Yep.
Okay.
In
It was great. You
You
it
never
was
been
not
to-
fun for me.
never been
I'm
to
not a
France?
huge art fan.
Yikes.
So my wife loved it though.
Okay, so back to Jeff, our guest. Our
So
guest
do you
is
guys
Jeff.
have any questions for me? Or
Did you eat bread, Paris? Did you
Yeah.
eat bread.
too much.
Anyways,
But yeah, so I love collecting Lego. It's just fun. It's a way for my brain like to just be able to be like, huh, it's done. Like it's a
tangible like accomplishment.
completion
Yeah.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which like as you guys know, working in ministry, you don't get many of those.
Right.
Like you just don't. So yeah.
Cool.
That's another one. I love food. Big foodie. Love just really like
Amen. Oh,
exploring food
yes.
and nice food.
Yeah.
What's
Yes.
been your jam lately? Maybe not lately because
Is it jam?
No, actually,
I knew
what's-
that joke
what's
was
been really
coming.
cool is Rebecca and I have been cooking a lot, and we'll just go and we'll make food. Like so, she's really into curry, so we'll make curry and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. I'm trying to think. We made a charcuterie board for the first time.
Wow.
That's a very
Yeah.
difficult word to say.
Yeah,
and spell.
It's shark. Is it charcuterie? charcuterie or charcuterie?
I probably said it wrong.
Is it coupon or
Charcuterie.
coupon?
That's a good point. My mom says coupon.
As long as she didn't say coupon, we're good. Like,
Is that what Chicky says? Does
no,
Chicky say
but
that?
Chicky's
those
that says
coupons?
coffee and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Long
coffee.
Island. So charcuterie.
Charcuterie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I sent a picture of
Like
it to Dave
an
Bolton
adult-
for approval.
Adult Lunchable, basically.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Mature Lunchable.
Yeah, you just put fun stuff on there and it's
Mhm.
great.
Mhm.
But so that's been cool during quarantine. Learn about that stuff and just exploring that, which has been really fun. Japan culture is a big thing for me too. I just love anything Japanese. I was learning Japanese maybe a few months ago.
Tell us what's your favorite phrase?
Favorite phrase? Oh man.
That's appropriate, of course.
Okay, don't. We gotta preface that. Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
Let's just don't you dare.
Can you say anything? in
Yeah, I
Japanese?
know like bits
Can
and
you
pieces of
actually-
phrases.
I
Did you
didn't
actually
mean
learn
it.
anything?
I'm out of practice like severely, like 2
Okay.
months. So I know like basic like bits and pieces of phrases.
Do you have like, hello, my name is Jeff?
Oh man.
Or just hello?
Oh,
Sorry, we should have
you
prepared
put me on
you.
the spot.
We
I'm
should
not
have
prepared.
prepared you for this. I'm
Ah.
so sorry.
I'm trying to think how to say that. We might have to skip. We might have
You
to pass. We might have to come
remember
back.
it, just
I'll just bink.
shout
Yeah,
it.
I mean, of course, like
Shout it.
Konnichiwa,
Interrupt and
Yeah, yeah.
shout it.
Right.
Give me a moment in like 5
Yes.
minutes. Like,
Yeah. But that's been super fun.
So we've been talking for 26 minutes already.
Oh, already?
We don't have, this is our, if you've noticed, this is a very different setup. So we don't have our nice clock up there.
Right. We're very far
So I'll
from
tell you
Jeff.
what, let's just do this. What would you say is the most rewarding thing in like a minute answer? What's the most rewarding thing about your TLC role?
Man, I think the most rewarding thing for me in my role at TNLC, I think really comes from students, is seeing our students grow and take like meaningful next steps. Like the best way for me to describe that to someone who like, because I know that's a pretty loaded phrase of like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
For me, a big win is like when we see someone like Landon, our drummer
Yeah.
who plays in NLS, serve on a Sunday morning.
Right.
Boom.
Like that's
And it
the
happened
whole
recently.
goal. Yeah, I mean that
was
happened
a win that we had recently.
Yeah.
a week or two ago, you know, and you know when we see students taking really big steps like that, that's huge, especially with music, because I think a lot of times with music ministry we can kind of get focused on just creating awesome things. It's like you just guys create, and it's like that's the smallest piece of it. Like
Right.
that's minuscule. The thing is like the people making moves towards Jesus, and the way we see that happen with our students is when they serve in NLS, we equip them, we disciple them, and then by the time they graduate, our goal is for them to be ready to serve on a Sunday morning and make like a meaningful step
Yeah.
with an adult. Landon's in what, like 7th, 8th grade?
8th grade.
Eighth
yeah.
grade, man.
Like
Yeah.
it doesn't get better than
So that
man.
seems to be like one of those. You said there's not a lot of ministry moments that are tangible and you can see like, hey, we made a difference here and
Yeah.
this happened. But that seems to be one of those like, this was very evident that a step was made and
and
something
even then
to be
it's
proud
not
of.
complete, right?
Right,
Like it's
yeah.
still like this thing happened, but I like for me, I'm convinced that students have the most potential out of anyone in the church. Like there's no one even comes close to them. Like they're just ready to go. They've got this free time. Like most of them, you know, like, I know we can fill our schedules, but a lot of them have this free time and this like untapped potential where it's
Right.
just like I have these passions and I don't know what to do with them. Like even with Michael over the quarantine, like figuring out how to edit. He's really good at editing.
Yeah.
Like, and it took him like what, a week to learn
I
that,
know,
not
man.
even like a day. Like,
But he's still, I feel like every week he's just learning, he's adding more and more. And so he took the little that he did know and then whatever he could find on YouTube and
Yeah.
did something great. And then is just continuing to,
you can learn anything on YouTube.
Oh,
I'm
for sure.
convinced it's great.
That's
for sure.
awesome.
But yeah, that's probably the most rewarding thing for
Awesome.
me. And when we look at music team, it's the same thing. It's when someone steps up and takes a moment to maybe step out in a place that they haven't before, where they lead a new song or you know they take a step to give an encouragement. Those are moments where you're just like, yeah, we did it. Like,
Great.
so yeah,
That's awesome.
Cool.
Well, let's go ahead and wrap up. We do have a fun little segment here. What are we doing for this?
So if you have watched previous episodes, you knew that, or you would know that I
That we don't
wanted
know
to
things.
play a game
Yeah.
that I had no idea what it was called. Turns out it was called Mad Gab,
Yes.
and we
well,
have
I think
it.
I think we were doing a Mad
We kept
Lib,
saying Mad Lib,
and we were like, well, no,
no.
we were doing a Mad Lib, and I think we kept calling it.
No,
thinking it was Mad
that's
Gab.
not how it went, Colin. But thank you for trying. Okay.
You're probably right. Okay.
I know. So I think that's in just
Because we've never done Mad Gab before.
We've never done Mad Gab, but we are about to.
But
We've
we have
done a
done
Mad
Mad
Libs.
Libs.
We have done Mad Libs.
Yeah, so I was right.
This
Mad Lib Theater.
Yes.
is not okay. This is Mad Gab.
Mad Gab.
Thank you to the Monteith
How does-
family for
What is the difference
donating
between a
this.
Mad Lib and a Mad Gab?
Well, that's not important. We don't have time for that.
But I
Mad-
mean, yeah. Well, so what do we do?
So Jeff is going to read these phrases that are not real words. They're not real words. But if you read them fast enough or in a certain tone or speed, something,
Irish.
it becomes a real phrase like
Yes.
magic. Okay. So
Like-
what? Colin,
So you're gonna give that.
I'm going to show Jeff a card.
Okay.
And then he's going to tell me what he thinks it is actually trying to say. I have
and
the
does he need to
answer
like
over
read it
here.
out loud as
He needs to read it out loud
Okay.
over and over and
Is
over
this
again.
family friendly?
I'm going to pick the ones that are family friendly because
Good.
I can see the answers here.
Cool.
Correct. Okay. Ready?
You're on top of things.
Are we going to time it or anything? Or are we just going to go till we get bored
should
or
we
what?
just,
2-3 cards. 2-3 cards. I
Let's
don't know how
do-
fast they go.
Let's do how many in a minute?
How many in a minute?
Yes.
In a minute.
Okay,
Probably
hold on,
one.
Let me get.
Probably
set up
one.
here.
Probably
Let
one.
me,
Jeff, be confident.
Timer.
I-
Here we go.
This is
Okay.
like that headphone game.
Oh, yeah, it is like
It's
that.
yeah.
Yes.
Not good at
okay.
that.
Ready? On your
Ready?
mark.
3, 2,
Okay.
1, go.
Seek your in heap blanket. Seek you your it heap blanket. What? Do I have to guess them?
Yeah,
Can I
you
say
have to
them?
guess them.
I thought you were guessing them.
Maybe Colin can help.
Yeah, you should
if he
probably help me.
knows.
This is a tough one. Seek your it heap blanket. Security blanket.
I was about
Yeah.
to do that one.
Pirate softly hip bean. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
Come on. I've been gone a long time. I've been gone a long time.
Oh, yes. That.
Nailed it.
Wow.
Hang her management. Anger management.
Yes.
Apparently, I'm bad at these.
Wisher death. We may need to pick another one.
Wisher.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Peel of height. Peel
Peel
of
oof?
height. Peel of height.
Peel of height.
Real fast. Yeah,
Peel
real
of-
fast.
Peel of height. Peel of height.
There it
Oh.
is.
Okay, well, I wasn't counting, but timer's up.
Oh, okay.
So, well,
good.
you can count the cards.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got
There you
5.
go.
That's way more
That's
than
more
one.
than one.
That is.
How many is that per? How many seconds is that per?
I
don't
want
do
you to
math.
tell me.
I don't do
Go
math.
ahead, Colin.
60 divided by 5 is
30 seconds.
probably in the 5-ish.
Please
to
don't think I
10-ish
actually believe
range.
that's the real answer.
Is what I'm gonna. Oh no, 10 seconds. That would be 6. Like 12 seconds.
Yeah.
12 seconds. Yep.
Nailed it. Good
Ministry.
math, everybody. Good math times.
Okay.
Well, that was super fun. Thanks for gabbing. Thanks for
That was
Madly.
a good one.
Great.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Okay, I feel like that was sarcasm.
It wasn't.
Hey, thank
It was
you
a
for tuning in
compliment.
to Meet the Leader podcast today. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe on YouTube and on your favorite podcast app. As always, we would love to hear who you would be interested in hearing from on the podcast. So you can email your suggestions to podcast@trinitynewlife.com and let us know.
Exactly. And also don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Trinity New Life for all of the updates and to make sure that you don't miss any of our episodes. Thank you, Jeff, so much for joining us today, and we will see you all next time.